Good morning, good morning, good morning. We're glad to see you at Metropolitan Design Church. We praise God for your presence and for your involvement. We believe that God wants to bless you as He blesses us continuously. And so we're going to start our worship service this morning being mindful of that God is in the building and God is in the presence of you right now. And wherever you are, whatever situation you are part of Metropolitan Design Church worship service. So let's have church this morning. Would you bow your head with me? Eternal Father God, now come and bless us and be for us. Continue to bless our service and those who are present and those who are absent. Continue to move on the hearts and lives of people. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. On behalf again of Metropolitan Design Church, where I am the senior pastor, Reverend Eli D. Smith, and to all the members who could not be here because of the COVID-19, we want you to know that to all of the families, whatever situation you're in, we're praying for you. And I know that many churches are doing it as we're doing it, that in the near future when we come back into worship service, we're going to have a large memorial service where we're going to celebrate the life and journey of every person who has passed away.
This ain't no ordinary worship. This ain't no ordinary song, yeah. The God I serve is greater than the ordinary. So I'ma give Him all I have in this moment. Come on, help me say, this ain't no ordinary worship. This ain't no ordinary. No, 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 no. The God I serve is greater. The God I serve is greater than the ordinary. So I'm gonna give Him all I have. I'ma give it all I have in this moment. Let me tell the story about a woman with an issue. Had it 12 long years, didn't know what to do. She heard about a man coming through her time. She fell to her knees and crawled on the ground. This is what she said, yo. She said, if I could only touch but the hem of His garment, I'ma give it all I have in the moment. Come on, help me say, yo, this ain't no ordinary worship. Oh, no it ain't, no it ain't, no it ain't. This ain't no ordinary. Yeah, the God I serve is greater. God I serve is greater than the ordinary. So I'ma give it all I have. I'ma give it all I have in this moment. Let me tell a story about a man from Galilee. Oh, He healed the lame, caused the blind to see. This man, He was betrayed, crucified for you and me. Oh, this man only wanted to make us free. Oh yes he did. Oh yes he did. Oh, listen y'all. But in 3 days He rose with all power. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 3 days He rose with all power. 3 days He rose with all power. Yeah, yeah. So I'ma give it all I have. I'ma give it all I have. I'ma give it all I have in this moment. Come on, Elijah. Come on, play. Come on, play. Come on, play. Come on, play. Somebody say, play Elijah. Play Elijah. This ain't no ordinary. This ain't no ordinary song. No, 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 no. The God I serve is greater. So I'm gonna give him all the hell.
Move to the Word of God. It comes out of Galatians chapter 6, beginning with verse 1. You will find these words. Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such as one which in the spirit of weakness. Consider thyself, lest thou also be tempted. Bear ye one another burdens, and so fulfill the law of Christ. For if a man think himself to be something when he is nothing, he deceive himself. But let every man prove his own worth, and then shall he have rejoicing in himself alone, and not in another. For every man shall bear his own burden. Let him that is taught in the word communicate unto him that teaches in all good things. Be not deceived, God is not mocked. For whatsoever man soweth, that shall he also reap. For he that soweth to the flesh shall the flesh reap corruption, but he that soweth unto the Spirit shall of the Spirit reap life everlasting. And let us not be weary in well-doing, but in due season ye shall reap, if we faint not. As we have therefore opportunities, let us do good unto all men, especially unto them that are of the household of faith. I read for you Galatians chapter 6, verses 1 through 10. May God add a blessing from the read word, may it sink in your heart this another day. Would you bow your head with me and we pray? Eternal, all-wise God, we pray today for those who are hurting and lost and dying, those who are in trouble. God, we pray for our church community, present and absent. We pray for those in nursing homes and hospitals. We pray for our children and the young and old. We pray for that man, that woman who on the highway and byways of life. We pray for those, God, whose names we do not know. We pray for those who, God, who do not understand your power and glory, that you may reveal yourself to them. Now, God, you come and speak. Then, God, we pray that thou will forgive us of our sins and forgive those who sin against us. This we pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Amen.
The question is, when you're standing at a crossroad, what do you do? Real sweet, when a fork is in the road. When the world is on your shoulders. When your back is up against the wall. Come on. What do you do? You hold on and keep the faith. Tell somebody on your road, say, come on, tell somebody sitting around you, keep the faith. Come on, encourage somebody else, keep the faith. When there's nowhere else to look, where do you turn? When there's nowhere else to turn, where do you go? When there's nowhere else to go, what do you do? When there's nothing else to do. You gotta remember, you're in the Master's hand, and the master has a plan. So hold on. Hold on. And keep the faith. Keep the faith. Keep the faith. He has worked it out before. He can work it out again. Trust God. Trust God. And say victory is mine. Victory is mine. Tell somebody victory is yours. You're gonna make it. Say victory is yours. Tell them. Throw your arm around somebody and say victory is ours. God is gonna see us through. We gonna win. Victory is ours. Say it. Tell somebody, keep the faith. Tell them, keep the faith. No matter what you're going through, God's got your back. Throw your arm around somebody. You come too far to turn around now. Hang in there. Hold on. Don't get weaker. Get stronger. Tell somebody on your road. God's gonna help you. You can recover. You can recover. No weapon formed against you. If God be for you, nobody can be against you. Greater is He that's within you than he that's within the world. Keep the faith. Keep the faith.
I want to get right into the Word of God because this is our second series of talking about Paul, preaching about Paul. If you were with us last week, we preached from the subject, Follow Me as I Follow Jesus. And we wanted to just to share a word of what Paul was sharing with us and talk about. What Paul continues writing and talking to this Galatian church in this epistle, this letter he writes to them. And this morning I want to preach from this subject, burdens and blessings. Burdens and blessings. I want to share it with you because as I see Paul, who is finishing this epistle that he writes to this church, and he writes to these people who are in leadership. He writes to those who are wrestling with what it means to be a Christian and growing in the Word of God, and those who are the leaders and those who are elderly. He writes to them telling them that if you're going to do something, you need to understand what your part in the process of following Jesus is all about. And so he says to them, he says, I want to give you something to hold on to. I want to give you something that will give you something to tell somebody when they're wrestling with life situation. And so he says to them in Galatians chapter 6, verse 1, Brethren, if a man be overtaken in a fault, ye which are spiritual, restore such a one in the spirit of meekness, considering thyself, lest thou also be tempted. Burdens and blessings. Paul, why will you speak to us this morning? After all we're going through, after all we have gone through, after what we are facing at this moment, because I'm in the midst of burdens without seeing my blessings. I'm in the midst of my pain without understanding my joy. I'm in the midst of my family being torn apart without any sign of being renewed. I'm in the midst of my church being closed with no indication when it's going to open again. Yes, there are some burdens that we all must live with. And yes, right now, I can't speak specifically. I don't know specifically what your burdens may be. But just as there are burdens, there can also be blessings. You remember Paul talks about in the 5th chapter in this epistle, he talks about the fruits of the Spirit. He shared with them that these fruits of the Spirit and what it involves. He wants them to remember. He said, I don't want you to forget what it's about. I remember last year in our church, we were in our Christian education department, we were teaching our young people about the fruits of the Spirit, and we encouraged each one of them to identify with one and to talk about it, to share. And you know, and he talked about it, it begins to unfold. But Paul did not just want to talk about the fruits of the Spirit. In the 6th chapter, he understood the burdens that they were going through. He understood that they were a church, that they didn't know what to do next. And some of them had lost their way. Some of them were in a situation that they didn't want to be in. And so he had to write to them, not just to tell them that they were wrong, but tell them what God can do to make it right. I'm not here to tell you all the things you've done wrong. I'm telling you the things that God can make right in your life. The burdens you're experiencing now, whatever it might be. And so Paul understood this. And so I believe in this 6th chapter of Galatians, he lifts up 3 powerful, moving things about burdens and blessings. The first thing he says to us is, our world and people are in trouble. I believe you would agree with that. Our world is in trouble. You don't have to spend very long looking on the newspaper or reading the newspaper or looking at the news or going online without you seeing the number of turmoil. Not just the protests, but the number of things that are going wrong, not just in the United States, but all over the world. We're in trouble. Country after country are in trouble. People are in trouble because we don't know how to deal with problems and situations that we feel out of control of. We don't have a sense of that God is in the midst of every situation that happens in our lives, and particularly when those of us who know the Lord. God never promised us sunshine every day, but God neither did he say to us, you will have midnight every day in your life. People are in trouble. There is injustice, and people are reacting to injustice all over the world. Some people have gone home and forgotten about the number of people who've been killed and mangled thing all over the world. Or we who are part of the Methodist Church, We have churches in Africa, our African churches in our places. People are in trouble. And yet we are called to be faithful to God. Yet we are called to understand the situation. We are called to cry out to God, to pray to God, to realize that they're in trouble. That people, many of those, are unable to hold our temple. Little children, young people, look around. Many of them are so angry. Not just in protest. They're angry in their homes. They're angry with their family. They're angry with themselves. They're angry at school. They're angry in college. They're angry in graduate school. They're angry because they have a job. Some are angry because they don't have a job. Some of them are angry because of the family that they have. Some of them are angry because they don't have family. All around our world and people in trouble. We do things we should not do and live sometimes what we don't live. Paul writes this epistle so he understands, I know your burdens, but I also know your blessing, brother. I know while you're living with burdens, God has blessings for you. And so as Christians, we must seek to help those who are in need. And so Paul says, if our brothers, if our sisters are overtaken in a fault, we which are spiritual, strong, who know the word of God, who live the word of God, we must find a way to restore them, not out of anger, not out of pointing our finger, not out of telling all the things wrong, but in meekness. And why do we do it? It says, lest we may also be tempted. What do Christians do? What Christians should do when people find themselves trapped in sin? The answer is, you and I need to help them. You and I need to understand or say to ourselves, but by the grace of God, there went I. And so Paul says, our world and people in trouble. But not only that, he says, so secondly, we are our brother's keeper. And he said that we are our brother's keeper. When you think you don't need help, or you don't need anybody on your side, that's where you are in trouble. This is a fellowship that Jesus saved us into. It is about relationship. And whether people are in our families that we identify or not, because we are part of the family of God, we are called to minister to every person, in spite of, regardless of who they are or whom they are. Every time somebody falls into sin, we should be there to help them. We should remind them that God still loves them. Many of us are like Abel and Cain. You remember the story in Genesis, Abel and Cain, that God speaks to Abel and Cain, and God in turn blesses the offering of Abel, but that which of Cain he rejects. But many of us forget that God talked to Cain while he told him he would reject him. And what God says to him is that if your countenance change, if your attitude change, if your heart change, I would accept your offering. Well, we know that in the process of that Cain killed Abel. And thinking he got away, probably forgot about it. Family did not talk to him about it. But God comes back to them, and God asked him the question, where is thy brother? Cain, in a sense, thought that he could, like some of us, think that we can outsmart God. Cain says, am I my brother's keeper? The answer is yes. You and I are brother's keeper. None of us should be happy. None of us should celebrate. None of us should laugh. And none of us should rejoice when our brother and sister fall. We should be at a place in life that we ought to get a place so that when our brothers and sisters fall, the word says, we which are in that place in the Lord, we should go and help to restore that person. Bring that person back to the church. Find a way to encourage that person. Understand that because we are finite creatures, we've all sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. We are called to be Christ-like, not world-like. We have a duty, we have a responsibility to work with every person. Every morning we wake up, we are called by God to get up and to help somebody, to find small ways of helping people to get back into the body of Christ. It's not a small task, it's a major task, but as Christians, as children of God, I have to understand that God did not save me just so I can relax. God saved us so we can help other people. And so Paul says to this church, he says these people said to us, is that there are burdens and blessings in it. Because sometimes the people you want to help the most are the people who don't want to be helped, or seemingly don't want to be helped. There are some people who want to walk away and says, listen, I'm fine, you don't have to help me. But here in the gospel, Paul tells us is that this epistle letter, he says that we which are strong must bear the infirmities of the weak. We got to help them, even when they don't know what happened, because there are burdens and blessings in being in God's family. And then finally, he says, not only is our world in trouble and people in trouble, not only are we our brother's people, but family, we are called to restore people because it could have been you. Think about it. If you got lost and nobody came to get you, where would you be? If you lost your way, if you were trapped in sin. There are so many different programs in our world that I'm so very thankful for, that when people get in trouble, they're there for. You could list them one by one. But the church also, the Church of the Living God, need to be doing that. We must work to restore people, not just to get a house to live in. We're not just called to make sure that people have a job to work on, or that give them new clothes, or just to restore the relationship with their family or with their children, but to restore them back in relationship with Christ, that they may have a fellowship with the Lord. This epistle must be lived out and preached with love and compassion for people who have fallen. Don't fool yourself. You need to restore people back into the fellowship because that helps you to stay in the fellowship. You need to understand that no matter how safe you may think you might be, the devil is still knocking at your door. Sin has not forgotten your name. You're never too old, you're never too young, you're never too smart, you're never too educated, you're never too successful that it can't happen to you. It can happen to any of us. Paul tried to bind us together because he understood what it was about. He tried to remind them that there are burdens and blessings in helping one another. Who have you helped today? Who do you help yesterday? Who are you willing to help tomorrow? Not just your family member, not just those, but we are called to restore them back into the relationship with the Lord, to bring them back into the church. Everybody want to talk about people standing on the outside of the church. What about those who may wish to come but don't have the opportunity? I remember hearing from one of the senior pastors when I was a young preacher coming along. He told the story that he went to a meeting and there were some people sitting on the outside, and on the Sunday morning they were going to church, and as they kept going into the church every Sunday, he was walking in, and there was a man sitting on the outside, and they slowed down, and nobody paid that much attention to him. They moved on, and he kept going, but the preacher said, he stopped and asked, says, "How you doing?" And the man said, "Preacher, what's going on in there?" He said, "What do you mean?" He says, "What's going on in there?" He said, "Well, we're having church, we're having a conference, we're celebrating. We come from all over the world and we come to celebrate." He said, "Preacher, whatever's going on in there is not coming out here." Sometimes we forget as Christians that there are burdens and blessings in what we do. And sometimes we forget that sometimes the burdens does not always materialize into the blessing in the way we want them to. Because sometimes the blessings are silent. Sometimes the blessings are so unknown. And I just can't tell you other people's story, but let me tell you my story. I remember that I was pastoring a church a while back, and there was some people in the church that I was pastoring, and there were some young ladies who used to come in front of the church in the house, everything, and they would introduce themselves to certain people, and they would do whatever they wanted to do, and went on. And I remember one day that I came in with the righteous indignation that I was going to overcome all of the ills. And I went out and I told them that you can't be doing this in front of the church, and you can't do that everything. And so I told her, I said, but I'm so very thankful that while the righteous indignation there, God always have a way of throwing another line in. And I said to him, I said, but you need to get saved. You need to change your life. You need to be better than what you are. God expects more from you. While I went out to reprimand, the anointing of God fell. God blessed it. And I began to press them all. And when I did that, I left it alone. And I left it. Several years later, while I was around, I was there, a young lady ran, got out of the car, and came towards me. I was cleaning the yard. I didn't recognize her. I didn't know who she was. And in the midst of doing so, that she came to me. She says, "Pastor, you forgot who I am." And I looked at her and said, "Well, who are you?" And I don't exactly remember. And she began to talk to me. She said, "Several years ago, you talked to me about what I was doing, and I didn't realize it." She said, "But you know what I did?" She said, "I heard you, even though I didn't say a word. And I went away and I got cleaned up. And I want you to know I came back to tell you that I'm not doing what I used to do anymore. And I want to tell you that I'm married. And I want to tell you that I'm going to church. And I want to tell you that I thank you for what you do." At that moment, I realized that there may be burdens in life, but it's also a blessing. It was a blessing to know that while I started out to reprimand her one way, God stopped me to speak a word about him. And she heard the word, not just the burden, but the word. There are burdens and blessings in this journey. And you can spend your time only thinking of the burdens. But I commend you to remember the blessing. It is a blessing to serve the Lord. It's a blessing to have something. I love that song. I found it to be so wonderful to me that says, if I can help somebody as I pass along the way, maybe, just maybe, my living won't be in vain. I want to say to you this morning, from the love of God, my love goes out to you, my prayers go out to you, that I want to tell you this morning that whatever burdens in life you may be experiencing, whatever difficulty in life, whatever shortcoming you have, whatever burdens you are holding on to or you're carrying, I want to tell you that this Jesus does not only allow us to have burdens, but he gives us blessings. And the blessing is that he will make it better. And so as Christians, we have to encourage people. We have to give support. We have to do correction. We have to love them. We have to help to lift them up because there are burdens and blessings in this life. But when you're serving Jesus, the blessings outweigh the burdens. Will you bow your head and pray? Eternal Father God, speak a word this morning that we may hear your voice. Continue to bless us in the precious name of Jesus. Thank you for all you do and say. Continue to move and rule in our lives. Heal and restore those persons. And God, whatever burdens that people may experience, at this moment we may hear your word. Let those burdens turn into blessings. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. We thank you for being with us at Metropolitan Design Church. We hope in the near future you come and be with us. I want to also say to you that we are planning to go to Israel October 26, 2020, and we would love to have you be a part of it. I want you to know that I want you to go where Jesus was. I want you to see what it is. If you've never been, if you've been before, if you come and go with us, I believe that God will bless you and God will lift your burdens. You can write us at 140 Belmont Avenue, Jersey City, New Jersey. We'd love to have you, and we will send you any information you need to be. God bless you. And for those of you others, we want you to start, if you can, to give your tithes and offering, either through PayPal, Giveify, or you can mail your offering in to the building of God's kingdom. We want you to start pouring seeds into God's house. We would love to have you, and we will recognize each and every one of you. God bless you, God keep you. Would you bow your head and we pray? Now to him is able to keep us from falling, but in the fall through a stone with exceeding joy. Unto the only wise God, be our Savior, majesty, power, not evermore. Amen. 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 God bless you. Until we meet again. Again, I'm Reverend Eli D. Smith, the senior pastor of Metropolitan and Design Church. On behalf of all of Metropolitan, we love you. We thank God for you. We hope to see you in the near future. God bless you.
Come on, encourage somebody else. Keep the faith. When there's nowhere else to look, where do you turn? When there's nowhere else to turn, where do you go? When there's nowhere else to go, what do you do? When there's nothing else to do. You gotta remember, you're in the master's hand. And the master has a plan. So hold on. Hold on. And keep the faith. Keep the faith.